Hi, my name is Kristin Johnson and I am part of Students Making a Difference at CUCC, and I am making a presentation today for our inclusionary meal for the homeless and hungry at CUCC. So first of all, I want to start off by saying that we hope that this is a continuation of our Go and Do series of sermons that we have been talking about at church, and that this is going to be an actionary step on those sermons. Feeding the homeless in our community is something that we can go and do, and we can see those people who are in the ditch and we can help pull them out. First, you might be asking yourself what we're going to do. So we are going to host an inclusionary post-Thanksgiving meal for homeless individuals, which we are going to call guests from now on. And we're also going to include interfaith volunteers to share in fellowship over a hot meal. And it is our hope that this occasion might serve to bring together students, members of faith communities, and others who feel a strong conviction of concern for the homeless and hungry in Champaign-Urbana, and thereby strengthen the ongoing networks of support for those in need in this neighborhood. Who is going to show up? Guests in the Champaign-Urbana area. We anticipate 15 to 20 people. We are specifically inviting the homeless to participate in this meal. We are not really opening it to generally the hungry because we really want this to be a contained event for the first meal of this kind for our church. We really want to control the amount of people that we have to make it a successful event. In the future, if it goes well and if we decide as a church that we want to continue doing this, we might open it up to more people. But for now, we want to strictly limit it to the 15 to 20 homeless in the Champaign-Urbana area. Also, we are inviting volunteers. We hope to have as many as possible, but again, we aren't going to put our feelers out too far because we want to have that contained feel to this meal. So we're hoping for around 20 to 25, and those are going to be from CUCC, Students Making a Difference, Canteen Run, and other RSOs. We've reached out to APO, and we're hoping to see some of their faces there. But again, we don't want like 100 volunteers there because we really want to contain this event and make it successful and not overwhelming for our first time. Where will it be? CUCC Fellowship Hall, with your blessing, of course. When will the event occur? Saturday, December 3rd. Volunteers will arrive at 1 p.m. for cooking and 3 p.m. for setup. We've also discussed possibly coming the night before to cook desserts, depending on how much we determine will need to be done. The meal will be from 6 to 8 p.m. We've talked to Barb and Dan Davies, and they have talked to the homeless community, and we think that's a good time. And then clean up after. Food and funding is a very important part of any meal, of course. So we are currently putting out our feelers to local grocery stores to try and get donations of food and coupons. Harvest Market has already said that they will donate some food. We don't know what food yet. We're currently in the process of getting our official letter sent to them asking, detailing exactly what we want and what we need to see if that will go along with what they are willing to give. If they do not want to give food directly, we're going to ask for coupons. And how will we pay for food that we only get coupons for? We are going to fundraise on the quad. And we thought a good way to do it would be to go to Sam's Club and purchase really large quantities of hot chocolate and cookies and sell a hot chocolate cookie combo for $2 on the quad in the month of November. So it'll be a little chillier out. Students will be kind of going between classes, and hopefully they'll want something to warm them up. In terms of keeping the hot chocolate hot, we are going, especially since it'll be either outside or, inside, but by doors that will be opening and shutting, and, lots of cold air coming in. We thought that we would bring a hot water boiler and boil like 6 cups of water at a time and just kind of replenish the container of hot chocolate so that it'll stay hot. And we hoped to make a decent amount of money with that. And we will, of course, advertise that we are doing this to feed the homeless. And we hope that, perhaps people would donate more than $2. That would be excellent. I know that I've done fundraising like this before, and people have donated more than the recommended price. So hopefully that will be the case. Also, we hope that in doing this, we would gather more volunteers, because maybe people would come to the table and be interested in what we were doing and say, oh yeah, that sounds really interesting. I maybe would want to do that. Also, in terms of volunteers, I really wanted to hit home on the fact that we're not just doing this to get volunteers for future dinners. We really want to encourage the volunteers who help out at our dinner to apply to help out at the winter shelter for the homeless. Barb and Dan Davies have been really helpful in telling us a lot about the winter shelter, and they always need more volunteers. And we really want people who come off of this experience, to sit down with a homeless person and eat a meal and learn that there's nothing other about them, and that we are not other, but they're just different facets of us, and that, these people deserve the dignity of a place to sleep at night. And we hope that they will leave our church thinking, I want to help out at the winter shelter, or I want to help at Canteen Run. So we're not just doing this for our church events and for ourselves, but we're doing this for the community and for the homeless. So to finish things up, I want to tell you about my experience with Canteen Run. I've only just started going. I've only gone once, so I will be the first to tell you that I'm not very experienced. And I went into it expecting a lot of things. I expected people to be down. I expected people to be sick. I expected people to, be hungry. But there was one thing I didn't expect. And that was for a 16-year-old boy to come up and ask for a sandwich. And I will call him Caleb. And Caleb came up to the Canteen Run food truck, having had a fight with his mom a while back. And he was now living on the streets because he had nowhere else to go. And we were feeding him because he didn't have another way to eat. And I just want you to know that in doing this dinner, you will be feeding people like Caleb. You will be feeding 16-year-olds who, through no fault of their own, are out on the streets, who are in the ditch. This is the definition of someone who is in the ditch. And I truly believe that it is our calling right now to reach out a hand and to say, I will help you. I hope, it is my hope, that you will join me on this adventure and that you will be ready to just help these people who are just in the ditch. Thank you.